My name's Sean Tannenbaum. I live in Los Angeles, California. So I bought my home about 1.5 years ago, and I was really excited, not only because it was my first home, but also because of how many different unique spaces there were. There was a downstairs, a large garage, and a bedroom. The second floor had the kitchen, the bathroom, 2 bedrooms. And then there was actually a nook on the 3rd floor with a big rooftop deck. So I was really excited about the space. Very early on, my first summer in the house, I realized the pros and cons of living in a 3-story. The pro being all those cool, unique spaces. One of the big cons being that it's very, very cold downstairs and very warm upstairs when you turn your air conditioning unit on. I have 2 other roommates, and constantly it's a battle over the air conditioning unit. We like it 74 for myself and my roommate who live on the 2nd floor. And meanwhile, I'm getting calls and texts from my roommate down on the 1st floor saying, "Can you please turn the air conditioning up? I'm literally in a sweatshirt and it's June." Meanwhile, as an attorney, I work from my home office upstairs, and by midday, it's 80 degrees upstairs, and I come down to the living room and finish my workday on the couch because it gets too hot. I had an AC tech come out just to make sure the Freon levels and everything were good. And he's like, "Dude, this thing, like, they don't make the Freon anymore. It's illegal to sell in the state of California." He's like, "So you're looking at like $1,000 to refill your Freon, and the new unit's gonna be, yeah, like 10, 15 grand. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, let's see how long we can make that thing last, and we'll get a whole house fan in, because that's all I've ever really known. I grew up with a old school house fan in my home in Murrieta, California. We lived in a 2-story home, and my mom was a budget queen. So she would refuse to turn on the air conditioning even when it was 95 degrees in Murrieta, Temecula area. And what we would do is it would drop to like 65 at night. So we would turn on the house fan and it would pull in all the cool air during the evening, and then we'd close up the house, pull the blinds, and it would keep the house cool throughout the day. So I grew up as a house fan being my primary kind of cooling solution for the home. When I became a homeowner, I realized how expensive it really is to operate a conventional air conditioning unit. And so I wanted to look into getting a house fan. And when I did research, I found out about QuietCool's whole house fan system, which I understand to be the best on the market. When I bought my house, I didn't think that a whole house fan was going to be an option because I had a flat roof. Growing up, we had a slanted roof with an attic. So I knew that you could install a house fan on that type of house, but with a small crawl space, I mean, in my home, you only have a few feet. I didn't think there was going to be any solution that would make sense, knowing how a house fan's installed and how it works. But I was really excited to learn that QuietCool makes a special product for flat roofs that works for my house. So a house fan, I'm hoping, is going to equalize the temperature so that we don't have it 60 degrees downstairs and 80 degrees in the home office. Since QC Manufacturing came out with the AZ air conditioning to install my whole house fan, I certainly use my air conditioning a lot less. I use my fan almost every night. The biggest difference I noticed since the house fan was installed is it isn't super hot upstairs and isn't super cold downstairs anymore. You have a nice level temperature throughout the whole house. My fiance was very skeptical about installing a house fan to supplement the air conditioning unit because growing up, she did not have a house fan in her house. And she was very, very attached to the cool, consistent temperature that you get with an air conditioning unit. And I told her, you're gonna be blown away, you're gonna love this thing. And she's like, we'll see. The very first night we used it, she was like, oh my God, I love this thing. It's actually better than the air conditioning. I think it was 72 degrees outside the night we turned it on, and it was just a beautiful temperature. You didn't get super cold in the middle of the night. And so we've been using it every night, almost every night since. And she loves it. My other roommates really enjoyed it as well. But I think the biggest convert was my fiance. My favorite part about having the whole house fan is my electricity bill is certainly a lot less now. The way I like to use the house fan is at night when it cools off, I'll open up a couple windows in the bedrooms, turn the house fan on to cool the house off. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'll turn it off and seal up the house. And usually that'll keep it cool up until about 3 or 4 p.m. And then I'll supplement with the air conditioning for a little bit. And then once the temperature cools off again, I'll turn the house fan on. My QuietCool, honestly, I think it's quieter than my air conditioning unit was. You can definitely hear it turn on and turn off, which is actually nice. Besides that, it is a very subtle background noise throughout the evening. So simple. You don't have to worry about Freon. I mean, it lasts almost forever. I mean, I think we had growing up, I think we had our house fan for like 30 years and it's still the house fan that's being used. We're renting the house out now and it's still the house fan that's being used in that house. It still works fine, whereas the air conditioning unit has been changed out twice. I would highly recommend the QuietCool house fan to anyone who's looking to reduce their electricity bill and just have a more balanced temperature throughout their house. And it's been working great. I mean, really, it's been working great. I really appreciate the work you guys have been doing.